is this historic Trump mugshot after his arrest in Atlanta, Georgia. He looks pretty angry in it.
Well, so you say angry. I think he looks rather defiant. It does remind me of that famous photo of Churchill where he's sort of glowering into the camera, and that was because the photographer nicked his cigar and took it off him and looked rather irritated as a result of that. And so, look, I think that he's attempting to kind of have that sort of Chilean defiance in that image. He joins, of course, an illustrious list of American celebrities who've had their mugshot taken, like Elvis and Sinatra, Al Capone and
Lindsay Lohan,
and Martin Luther King,
Britney.
Yeah, Britney. Oh, exactly. So all cultural icons. But that has already gone viral. He's returned to Twitter after 2.5 years away.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, he's saved Twitter.
Yeah, to Elon Musk's rescue, and he's already got some T-shirts with that image plastered on. So I'm sure it's going to become for his supporters an image of defiance he wants to project in next year's campaign. I
wonder if we can listen actually to the clip of watch and listen to the clip of Donald Trump, actually, just the main one where he's so defiant over this. Let's just have a listen to what Donald Trump had to say after his arrest in Georgia.
I really believe this is a very sad day for America. This should never happen. If you challenge an election, you should be able to challenge an election. I thought the election was a rigged election, a stolen election, and I should have every right to do that. As you know, you have many people that you've been watching over the years do the same thing, whether it's Hillary Clinton or Stacey Abrams or many others. When you have that great freedom to challenge, you have to be able to, otherwise you're going to have very dishonest elections. What has taken place here is a travesty of justice. We did nothing wrong. I did nothing wrong. And everybody knows it. I've never had such support. And that goes with the other ones, too. What they're doing is election interference. They're trying to interfere with an election. There's never been anything like it in our country before. This is their way of campaigning. And this is one instance, but you have 3 other instances. It's election interference. So I want to thank you for being here. We did nothing wrong at all. And we have every right, every single right, to challenge an election that we think is dishonest, that we think it's very dishonest. So thank you all very much, and I'll see you very soon. Thank you very much.
Well, let us know what you think about Donald Trump and the fact that he's been indicted now on election fraud charges. 0344 499 1000 is the number to call. 87222 with talk as be sure to put that word in your text message. You can also tweet me at TalkTV or follow me at Peter Cardwell. What do you make of what he said there, James? How much truth is there in it?
Oh, I thought it was vintage Trump, really, and you could see sort of a few pops going in, of course, to the old favourites, Hillary Clinton and Stacey Abrams. I think we've moved to the point in America now, sadly, where it's really just completely partisan, and people...
The truth doesn't really matter, does it?
Yeah, it's sort of post-truth politics, really, and Mr. Trump has done his bit in sort of propagating that as well. But I think perhaps there's an element of vindictiveness in some of the way in which the legal system is conducted over in the country. Equally, I think if you listen to that call that he made in Georgia in January 2021, it was pretty clear what he was trying to do. So look, we'll wait to see if anything will happen. It was really interesting. The striking thing this week, as well as obviously what's happened last night, was the Wednesday night's debate.
Yes.
And of course, it was all the Republican challengers apart from him, and it was a bit like having Hamlet, a production of Hamlet without the prince. It was missing the main character, and of course he loomed over it like a sort of zeppelin. And the main moment of that debate was when all the candidates were asked, would you pardon Trump or not? And that was, I think, the Defiant. And of course, that's the T word that's going to loom over this Republican field, which is why he's 3 times ahead what Ron DeSantis' next challenger is.
Well, Jennifer Ewing from the Republicans overseas, who I've interviewed a few times, she says that the Democrats really want him to be the candidate because he can be this bogeyman, he can be the person that they really fight against because Biden is so uninspiring. Yeah,
it's the classic dilemma of,
if Biden is in fact the candidate.
Well, that is quite another question as well, isn't it? But I think, there's a sort of vested interest of the Trumpites and the Bidenites in trying making this a sort of Biden-Trump race as well. But as you say, it's the difference between what your party wants and what the country wants. And Ron DeSantis has been pleading, saying, look at the polling showing I can be better and better chance of beating Biden, but his party aren't simply listening. And I think that's because they're really motivated and angered by things around Trump and sort of the establishment out to get them, rather than things like cost of living or inflation, which a lot of Americans really care about.